Hi everyone. May I audible?
Yeah, you are audible, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome our distinguished speakers, CA Mitika Batta, and everyone in today's knowledge sharing session of Visionary Woman, wherein we will learn about effective digital communication technique for professional. Visionary Woman, founded by CA Crispy Murakia, is created to support and empower women professionals. The idea is to provide them remote work opportunity and specialized projects that help them grow in their careers. This platform is also space for women professionals to learn from each other, share knowledge, build leadership skills, find mentorship. We know women professionals face unique challenges, and through this initiative, we want to give them right support, guidance, and networking opportunity to succeed with the confidence. With this, I would also like to introduce our today's speaker, CA Mitika Batta. CA Mitika Batta is a seasonal chartered accountant and corporate trainer with over 14 years of diversifying experience. She specializes in statutory and GST compliance, advisory service policy, communication, documentation, and professional communication. She is known for her ability to translate complex legal, financial, and soft skill concepts into clear, structured, and application derived learning experience. Her core strength lies in demystifying complex subjects and converting them into engaging training, module, workshop, and practical learning concept. As a trusted trainer and advisor, she has worked closely with corporate teams and professional communities to streamline system, conduct seminar, and strengthening content, lead digital knowledge platform. She has conducted training sessions that blend regulatory accuracy with practical insight, ensuring that learning is both effectively and immediate actionable. Over to you, Mitika ma'am. Mitika ma'am,
Yes, very good afternoon, everyone.
good afternoon,
Good
ma'am.
afternoon.
I hope my audio and video both are working perfect.
Yes, yes.
Okay. A very warm welcome to the session and thank you for such warm introduction of mine. To begin with, I will quote Albert Einstein here, one who said, "Tell me, I forget. Teach me, I remember. But involve me, and I learn." So let's involve and learn about the pro digital communication techniques, which is specifically designed for the professionals.
We're excited to know
Let's,
more, ma'am.
sorry.
We're excited to know more.
Okay, sure, sure. And I'll be very open for the Q&As as well. So let's just have an involving session and let's begin it. So
Yes,
let's dig in what is business communication. Before this, let's understand what is communication. Communication, we all know we have a sender, we have a receiver, we have a channel, and we have a message. The sender sends the message via a channel which is intended for the receiver. Now, can anybody tell me when does the communication begins? Yes, please share in the chat. When does the communication begin? Can I have some answers?
um,
Okay. Before this, let's also take an example of our history. Let's dig some part of our history. I hope we all are well versed with the name Abhimanyu, one who is the son of Arjuna.
yes.
Yes. So, what is special about Abhimanyu's story and what does it tell us about communication? We all know Abhimanyu knew how to enter into the Chakravyuh, right? So, how did he learn it? He learned it in the mother's womb. So, when does the first communication start? Even before the person is born in the physical form. So, the child gets the learnings in the mother's womb. So, that is the place where the first communication of any individual, any human being begins. So let's get
Right,
to our business communication. Now, business communication is the exchange of information within and outside the organization. It can be in verbal, in written, and in non-verbal forms. Apart from it, it aims at achieving the business goals very effectively. Now, what is the viewpoint here? Always remember, communication is the impact it creates. That's why it is important to have communication, business communication, with respect to building professional relationships, reduce misunderstandings and errors, improvise productivity and teamwork, and support decision making. Let's have a very quick snippet of why business communication is important. It develops coordination and collaboration skills. It helps to strengthen the customer relationship and satisfaction. It builds strong trust based teams, establishes clear goals and expectations. And obviously, when our communications are clear, what happens? We have lesser of emails. So the email overload is also reduced and focus is more on the productive side. It reinforces rules, policies, and procedures, maintains order and transparency. It sparks innovation and fresh ideas. Whenever we are communicating clearly, we are also receiving what is happening. We are also receiving the messages in a clear manner. So it sparks innovation and fresh ideas, ultimately leading to a healthy and inclusive work culture places. Now let's look at the another concept, which is what are the C's of communication? C for communication, and what are the C's in communication? So basically, here we talk about the 7 C's of communication: clear, concise, complete, correct, concrete, consideration, and courteous. So, what is understood by communication being clear? See, whatever the message sender is sending, it should be clear, it should not be ambiguous, it should be concise, it should be considerate, short, as well as it should pass on the messages whichever is there to be received by the receiver. Third says the communication must be complete. This means incomplete communications, incomplete messages must never be passed on. Fourth is correct. What do we understand by communication being correct? It should be backed up by facts, it should be backed up by grammar, the language must be proper. Next, we have the fifth one is the communication must be concrete. Concrete means obviously backed up by the data and sufficient evidences. We cannot have our communications which are grapevines. Next, sixth one is we have consideration. What do we understand by being considerate in communication? It means, see, at the very beginning, we understood what is communication: sender, receiver, message, and a channel, right? So the receiver's end must always be taken into mind of the sender whenever the sender is communicating. So that is being considerate. And finally, we need to be courteous. Courteous means we need to be polite. We need not be abusive. We need not be forcing. And at the same time, emotional messages are not allowed in the business communication. So always remember to be polite and courteous. Now let's dig into the another concept which says types of communication, which is, anyone can help me with how many types of communications we have? Let's write it in the chat. How many types of communication we have, or what are these? Okay. In the very beginning, I had already told in the very first slide, we had discussed here, which is,
Verbal, opinions, I
yes,
guess,
verbal, written,
and
then uh, is my screen visible?
yeah,
Okay. Verbal, written, then we have non-verbal and
non-verbal,
the
digital. Yes,
biggest gift to us from COVID-19 is the digital communication, right? So we
yes.
all have been very much into the digital communication post COVID-19. So that is the blessing which COVID-19 has given to us. Now, in verbal communication, we have meetings, we have presentations, we have calls. In written communication, we have emails, reports, notices, proposals. Memos are also there, but it is slowly and gradually fading out with the passage of time. But what is more important in the present business scenario is the non-verbal communication and how do we handle the digital communication. Okay, so let's first discuss about the non-verbal communication. It is your body language. See, suppose during a meeting, the person is couching like this. and the eye contacts are not there. The person is looking here and there. It shows what? The person is not receptive. Whenever we are communicating, the person must be receptive. And at the same time, what implication the sender has? If I be like this and I'm presenting a presentation or like this, okay, the types of business communication is like there are four types of business communication: verbal, written, non-verbal, digital. How is it sounding? Very bad, right? Why? Because it is not being passed on. The receiver is not receiving it. So the non-verbal cues are very important in business communication. The body language must be proper, the shoulders must be broadened, the chin must be high. It should show your attentiveness. The receiver, the speaker, both must be attentive whenever a communication is going on. So body language matters a lot. Next is tone, the tonality. Like here, I'll just quote a very simple line which says, wrong messages. I'll draw your attention. Wrong messages set in a right tone are perceived better than right messages said in the wrong tone. Are we all clear? Give me some thumbs up. Are we all clear with this? Wrong messages, sorry, wrong messages said in the right tone are perceived better than right messages said in the wrong tone. Yes, thank you so much, Delzine. I hope I pronounced it well. Yes, thank you so much, Minakshi. So, what is this? That is the tonality. See, another, we have a very regional thing here, the Haryani language and the Rajasthani language. See, Rajasthani language is presumed to be very polite. On the other hand, Haryanvi is a bit hard, right? Even if the person is saying it very politely, it is assumed to be hard. I'm just not being any or neither making any state comments, but yes, that is about the tonality. Now, next is gestures. We have already covered it in the body language. Like we should always maintain the eye to eye contact. It shows what? Our attentiveness to send as well as to receive. Now we have the digital communication. In digital communications, see, we all are very well versed. The chats, the online platforms, the virtual meetings, WhatsApp, telegrams. So what are these? These all are the digital media platforms in which we communicate, right? We will have a very elaborative session on this in the later part. Now, next is something which we need to be very considerate about. That is the barriers to communication. Now, what do we understand by barriers? Let's have some chit chat. Something which is obstructing the flow. See, remember again the very basic definition of communication: sender, receiver, message, and there has to be channel. So whenever this channel gets broken, that is the barrier. So what is the barrier to business communication? See, here we have different types: language barrier, physical barrier, environmental barrier, psychological barrier, cultural barrier, perpetual barrier, technological barrier. So these are the several types of barriers which we face in the business communication. I have kept some few examples in each, and how do we remove these barriers. So let's just dig in the first one, which says the language barrier. In language barrier, what we should always avoid is using any complex jargons whenever we are communicating to a non-technical team. Okay, so how do we remove this barrier? We should always use a simple language, explain the key terms in the plain words. Like say, to a layman, we cannot talk like a lawman, right? Next is we have physical barriers, like discussing the important points. Like during the session, I have some loud music going on at the background. So what will happen? It will disrupt the flow of the message. So how do we remove it? Always, whenever we have a meeting, we should schedule it in a very quiet room. Next is psychological barrier. Now, what is the psychological barriers? See, this includes fear of speaking due to authority or presence. This is more from down of the hierarchy coming to the top of the hierarchy. Yes, obviously, an article, first day article talking to a senior partner, the very first day, just take the person and versus the same person communicating with the same senior manager on the end of the articleship. What is the difference? The barriers are removed, the channels are open, the person is more free to present the opinions. So always encourage the open discussions and reassure the feedback is always welcome. So this is how we remove our psychological barrier. Next, we have the cultural barrier, assuming everyone follows the same cultural norms, and we have this is a very of much of the pre-notion. Like people understand that the other person also understands our culture, which may or may not be very true in all the sense. So what we should do is we should always acknowledge the cultural sensitivity and always give some clarifying expectations respectfully. Now let's have a discussion on the perpetual barrier. Here also I'll give you a very simple example. Like say let's understand a scenario. We are at a client, the senior partner, and an article. The article gave an observation to the client. What will happen? At the same time, the observation was communicated to the client by the senior partner. Which will be perceived better? Come on, people, let me know. Which will have more impact on the client? The observation is same. Remember, the observation is same. It is not being changed. So, who will have a greater impact? The words coming out of the mouth of the article or the words coming out of the mouth of the senior partner? Which one?
Senior partner.
Senior partner. Obviously, why? Because people presume the senior partner has more of the knowledge. But what was the consideration here? It was the observation was same. But the client perceived it in a better way when it came out of the mouth of the senior partner. So always remember, people prejudge. So in communication, we should avoid prejudging the speaker and dismissing the ideas. Rather than we should have an unbiased opinions. And whenever the person or whenever we as the receiver are not able to understand anything in the communicated thing, so please always ask clarifying questions. Like during the session also, I will always welcome. If there is anything which is not getting the chords connected, please come up and we will have a detailed discussion on it. Okay. Next we have is the technological barrier. So obviously poor internet communications connections during the virtual meetings that always hindrances our communication flow. So how do we do it? We always have a test check, and the big organizations always also have the backup plans. So always understand, communication becomes clear whenever the barriers are removed. Okay. So we will have several punchlines coming around during the session. So grab all those for your future benefits. Okay. I hope we are clear till here. Let's have some thumbs up. Are we clear till here? Is there anything which we need to be repeated? Is there anything which needs to be coming up? Okay. Thank you so much, Dalnas. Thank you so much, Shraddha. Okay, now next is a very important thing which we need to cover is the difference of being an ordinary communicator and how do we groom ourselves and become a professional communicator. Remember our intro video, if anybody has seen for the session, I had raised a very simple question. Am I an ordinary communicator or I want to be a professional communicator? How do we do it? See, ordinary communicator always complains or blames. You never gave me the information on time. But the professional communicator will always be taking the 100% responsibility. So, how do we rephrase this? We'll say, let's look at how we can improve and move forward looking at the timelines. Okay. Next, the ordinary communicator says, you have to do this, keeping 100% responsibility on the recipients. Blaming, complaining, right? You must complete this today. If I say, Shraddha, you must complete this today. But I replace it with, hi Shraddha, how can I help you? And give you any support to complete this today, which sounds better. See, tonality as well as the expression. So always understand whenever we replace ourselves from and being in the shoes of an ordinary communicator and grabbing the new shoes of the professional communicator, you will always get better responses. So next, the ordinary communicator always values the words, like beating the bush. You said this, it has to come up like this. You said this, it was the word. So what? Beating the bush around the words. I said what I had to say. I said this. You have to do this. You were supposed to complete it today. How does the professional communicator communicates? He or she values the emotions and beliefs. So, how do we rephrase it? I want to ensure my message is clear and helpful to you. If there is anything I can help you out with it, right? So, much better tonality. Next is an ordinary communicator only focuses on the position. Like, I'm the manager, so follow my instructions. What does happen in this scenario? The communication becomes one sided. The receiver will never be giving up the feedbacks. Remember, we had the barriers to communication. We just completed that session. Okay. So, how do we remove it? We always focus on the interest as a professional communicator and ask the person, let's align on what works best for the team. Are we clear till here? Please give me thumbs up. Are we clear till here? An ordinary communicator always complains or blames. He always says, you have to do this. Words matter a lot to that person, and he's very, very rigid for his positions. On the contrary, the professional communicator takes the 100% responsibility. He asks, how can I help you? He values the emotions and beliefs and is always focused on the interest. And in business communication, what is our interest? To achieve the organizational goals, right? So I hope we are clear till here. Now let's dig in further. The ordinary communicator uses a lot of I's. I did it. I told you to do like this. It has to be done my way or the highway, right? So I want this done my way. But the professional communicator uses a lot of we or us. The sense of belongingness gives you better productivity, right? So how can we approach this together? The ordinary communicator always labels the people. You are very careless. I told you to do this on time. Why didn't you do it, Meenakshi? Why didn't you deliver the thing on time? You're very careless. No. As a professional communicator, I must respect the different mental maps of the people, as well as I should say there seems to be a gap in the process. So, Meenakshi, let's fix it. If there is anything, I can help you out with it. So, we can sit and discuss. So, I am talking like a professional communicator. I am not an ordinary communicator. The ordinary communicator would always generalize. You always make mistakes, Kushal. Why didn't you do this? I gave you this last time also. Last time also you did the same mistake. This time also you do the same mistake. And I presume that you will always make the mistakes. Kushal? No, if there is anything which has happened, even if things are going the other way around, we should keep our composures whenever we are communicating as a professional communicator, and we should always be specific. Like in this particular instant, Kushal, there was an error. Let's address it and let's try to fix it. No blames, no complaints, rather than an accommodating environment in which we have closeness with the people. Business communication is not authoritative. We should come out of that. And yes, at present we don't do it, but still there are people who are very authoritative coming down the line from the hierarchy. So be it the manager or be it the article, so we should always maintain our communication in a professional way. So people, from today onwards, if we have any points as such, we'll replace it with the points and rephrase ourselves as the professional communicator. Okay, so now I hope whenever you see any article doing any mistake, so we'll make it very specific. That's in this particular instant, Mr. XYZ, you did this, so let's replace it. There is an error and let's address it. Okay, this is how a professional communicator communicates, be it any level of the hierarchy. I hope we are clear till here. Some thumbs up. Are we clear till here? Shall we go to the another section in which we'll be talking particularly about the emails and the WhatsApp communication, the digital media. I told you, no, when we were talking about the types of communication, the verbal, non-verbal, written, and the digital. That time I parked that section because we'll have a very detailed analysis on it in our further slides. I hope we are clear till here. Yes, Delzin has already given, and Greta as well has suggested that things were clear. So shall we go for the email communication? Shall we move forward? Or we have anything to be discussed till here? Okay, I do not see anything coming up. So let's discuss about the email communications. So before we begin this in elaboration, we will take an instant of how an email is drafted poorly. I'll read it out for you. Subject, it says urgent. I already told you about this earlier also, but still nothing is done. The report was supposed to be sent long time back, and because of this, everything is getting delayed. This is very, very unprofessional and creating issues for everyone. Please do the needful ASAP and send it to me immediately. Thanks. This is how I have communicated and sent an email to my junior. People, what is wrong here? All my peers, please let me know what is wrong here. What is the mistake I'm doing while I'm sending an email like this, when I'm drafting an email like this? What's wrong? Can I have something on the chat? What is wrong here? What's wrong with this email? See, very first, the email subject line is not clear. It's very vague because I just mentioned it as it is urgent. What is urgent? Why is it urgent? In what respect is it urgent? That is not communicated. Second, there is no recipient name. Did I address my email to anybody? No. I just said, hi, this is, and I started. What is the mistake here? That was, I did not mention the recipient's name. And at the same time, I made my email very emotional and accusatory in tone. Why? Because I said, I already told you about this earlier also, but nothing is done. The report was supposed to be sent a long time back. Because of this, everything is getting delayed. This is very unprofessional, creating issues for everyone. Please do the needful and send it to me. What am I doing? I'm just accusing in my entire email. Next is there is no clear line action and there is no deadline. I just said, please do the needful ASAP and send it to me. ASAP means what? Within 5 minutes, an hour, and in 2 days? When? So that is not specified. And lastly, the sentence structure is very, very improper. Why? Because I'm saying I am beginning my email as I told you earlier about this also. What was told? Why was it told? In what context are we being? So we are just generalizing. We are not being specific. And there are unprofessional phrases like we said long time back, earlier also, nothing specific. Now, how would we draft it in a professional manner? Like say, my subject becomes immediate action is required. Why is the immediate action required? Because there is a pending report submission. I said, dear XYZ, this is a follow up regarding the report that was due earlier and it is still awaited. The delay is now impacting the project timelines and dependent deliverables. Please share the completed report by I give a specific date and a specific time without any further delays. In case there is any specific issue preventing the completion, kindly inform me immediately with the revised timeline. And your prompt attention to this matter is required. This is how I closed my email. Now, what is the difference? Why was the previous a poorly drafted email and why is this a professionally drafted email? Can I have anything in the chat? Why is this a firm yet it is a professional email? See, I have made it very clear that what is required, it is immediate action is required in the subject line itself. So whoever is the recipient will pay kind attention to it. Next, I said it clearly states the impact as well as it gives a specific date and time. I said the report must be completed and it should be shared by a specific date and a specific time. So I have freezed my deadline here. My language is firm. I am being assertive. Like what did I say? There is delay and the delay is impacting the project deliverables now. So I'm being what? I'm being assertive. At the same time, I'm also asking, please share the completed report by a specific date and time without any further delay. I'm again being firm, I'm being assertive, but I am not being accusatory or emotional. And here we do not leave any room for explanation or excuses because I have freezed my deadline. I have, in the very beginning, I have freezed in my subject itself what is required, why is it required, who is being addressed in my email, what is the specific timeline when the deliverables are expected, what significant impact is this delay giving in my overall working scenario, as well as I gave a very, very prompt line in which says, I said, in case there is any issue preventing the completion, if there is any issue preventing the completion, kindly inform me immediately with a revised timeline, as well as your prompt action is required. So what did I do? I left no rooms for excuses. But yes, my email is still open for explanations. Now let's come to few of the very important points which we require during the email communication. Always remember, follow the thumb rule. Email must be clear. How do we pronounce? Emails must be clear. Very simple. Emails must be clear. Okay. So now what does clear stands for? Clear stands for what? C is clear subject line. L is logical structure. E is ease to read. A is action oriented. And R is respectful as well as the professional tone. Now let's revise the 7 C's of communication. Which was the last one? Which was the last one? Can anybody give me in the chat? Which was the last one? That the emails must be as well as, or the communication must be courteous. Yes, we should be courteous, right? So we shouldn't sound rude, yes, and it should not sound assertive. Yes, we should be firm but not accusatory, right? Okay, so always remember the thumb rule, CLEAR, that means the emails must be clear. So with clear, we start with C, that means the clear subject line. Means the subject lines decide whether an email is to be opened or it is to be ignored. So always make your subject line as crisp as possible. At the same time, accommodate information to the extent possible. See, I made a very, very ironical statement, right? Make your subject lines crisp and short, but also include the information, right? So what is the best practice for this? Always make your subject lines maximum 5 to 7 worded, and all in that include the person as well as the purpose of the email. Why are you sending that email? And always avoid sending it with any generic words like I need an update. Just saying it as update. Hi, important. So these all are ambiguous subject lines. So how do we replace it? Let's take an example. Like I sent an email with the subject line says update on the project. Now again, what is ambiguous here? Which project? What type of update? Is it the first time update, or we have any sinking thing coming up that nothing is mentioned? So how do I replace it? I just give rephrase it as required. What is required? Project timeline approval is required. So here I became very clear in my subject line in itself. Okay. Now, next comes our L. In the clear, next comes our L. L is the logical structuring of the email. See, do you guys know in how many time an email can be scanned? Let's see it in the chat. Do we have any thumb rule for scanning the emails? It's a very, very minimal time. And even I was amazed when I came up to this fact that an email must be scanned within 10 seconds. So, if the reader is giving 10 seconds to your email, there are 90% chances of that email to be read properly. So the first 10 seconds matter with your email. So whenever we are drafting any email, always make it logically structured. There must be opening, there must be a body in which we'll be giving details, actions as well as the closing. See, remember our previous example, poorly drafted and professionally drafted, right? What did the professionally drafted said? It had a proper opening in which we had mentioned the purpose of the email. Next, we in the body, we had all the details and like when it is supposed to be delivered, what timelines we had given, who was it addressed to. Next is the action, what action was required, that was also specifically mentioned, and we also give a polite and professional closing line to it, right? Next we have is the email must be clear, so we have E. E stands for it must be easy to read. Don't overcomplicate your emails with we say heavy words of the dictionary. Yes, so try using short paragraphs with simpler sentences so that the receiver doesn't have to first Google what actually you have sent it. And it should be having bullet points for clarity as well as always highlight your deadlines, or if there is any actions which you expect the reader to take, so always highlight those deadlines or those actions. Have we clear till here? CLE is clear. So if that is done, give me a thumbs up. or say clear in the chat so that I can go with A in the action. Okay, thank you. So with A, we have that is action oriented. Emails must always be action oriented. Every business must drive what outcomes you are giving. Emails are no time pass. Yes, we put in our so much time while drafting emails. So that is not a time pass. At the same time, I've already given you the thumb rule for the emails. That is, the emails must be scanned in within 10 seconds. So with that, we always write an action oriented email. So it should always, whenever we are passing anything, any business on the email, it must drive an outcome. Always be specific what actions are required, who is responsible person for that, and by when do you expect that action to be undertaken. And finally, R is being respectful, being courteous, be polite, be confident, avoid any emotional languages in it. I had told you many times, it was done earlier also. People, we are not ordinary communicators. We are professional communicators. So we always focus on solutions. We don't go and blame and complain to people. And like say, for example, you have not submitted or sent this report. No, accusatory tone. How do we replace it? This is a gentle reminder regarding the report scheduled for today. Same thing. I remember I told wrong things said in the right tone are perceived better than right things said in the wrong tone. So always remember to be courteous, even if we are drafting a firm email. Okay? Is it clear? So, what are our common workplace email scenarios? We have emails which are requests for approvals, the follow up emails, the escalation emails, the client communication emails, and apology or clarification emails. So, these are very not very common, yes, but at the same time, escalation emails, apology emails, or clarification emails are the emails which require so much of gut to write in a proper manner, a thorough analysis, and always keep your emotions aside whenever you're drafting these emails, because this is more of the we are communicating in a better scenario. We are not making or communicating as an ordinary communicator. We are communicating as a professional communicator. Keep yourself in this footing, keep your yourself in that leg, and then draft these emails. Now, what are the key takeaways? So, always remember, whenever we are writing clear emails, it always saves time and improves the productivity. We had already discussed about the structuring. So, structure plus clarity will always ensure what? Effective communication. And always ask, what action do I want? What action do? Always keep yourself in the shoes of the receiver whenever we are drafting this email. See, okay, you guys may be thinking, oh my God, there is so much to do. Who has so much of time? It is not about time, it is just about your internal structuring whenever you're writing any email. Whenever you are having the structure clear in your mind that I need to give my emails a structure, there should be opening, there should be body. So that format automatically is there in your subconscious mind. And whenever you're drafting any email, it just comes up and it becomes Reader, it becomes a quicker email when we have this logical structuring done in our logical rewiring done in our brains, right? So always remember the structure must be there and it must be with the clarity. And what is the resultant? It is effective communication. So what are the do's and the don'ts of the communication? See, always proofread before we are sending. We use professional greetings, and we should always avoid use of all caps or overuse of CCs and BCCs. At the same time, what is the golden rules? See, people, I'm giving you some golden rules in email writing as well as WhatsApp communication. So let's complete with this section first. So the golden rules of email writing is one email, one purpose. Don't overcrowd your emails. Like if you have, even if you have the same receiver but you're expecting different results, so what will you do? You will always draft single email for each purpose. What is the outcome for this? We always have a better follow-ups. We always have clarity whenever we're sending. Otherwise, what happens? Suppose I'm writing three things, so the receiver may miss out on some, like say one or two. It can happen. And what is the ideal length of an email? It is the single screen. It shouldn't be dividing the screen. Okay. And always read once before we are sending and avoid any CC overload. CC, this is the most misused part of emails, because people tend to show what some of the persons who are just want to show that they're working a lot. What do? A also, B also, C also. Like, see, take a very simple example. The fresher article, for example, was to show off that he has done a lot of work today. What will you do? He will send it to manager also, senior partner also. But as the person becomes older with the organization, the maturity comes in. What happens? CC overload reduces. So that is the most misused part of the emails. And always check your attachments before when we are sending. So what is the golden rule and the thumb rule here? Always, while drafting your email, always respect the reader's time and always mention what actions are required. So write emails that respect the reader's time and drive the particular action. I hope this part is clear. The email communication part is clear to all of us. Let's have some chats, some things on the chat. Is it clear till here? Shall, or you want me to repeat any portion of it? Okay, so I got a thumbs up here. Yes. Okay, so let's proceed further. Now we are talking about the business communication through WhatsApp and why is it so important now? See, as we all are very aware that WhatsApp communications have also be admitted as the evidences in the litigations now. So, though it is informal way, but it has impacted significantly with respect to the time it is giving, the outcomes it is giving. It is quick. See, how many of you here would prefer sending a message over WhatsApp in contrast to sending it over emails, which has a better turnaround time? Okay, show me on the chat which has a better turnaround time. Obviously, WhatsApp has a better turnaround time, right? Yes. But is it always? Does that mean that we should not communicate on the emails? Does that give me the liberty? Yes, if it's professional, then I'll prefer emails. Yes, very nice, Nelzin. That's very correct. But does that mean that we cannot communicate professionally on WhatsApp? Is it so? So let's see certain scenarios in which we will be using emails and or the WhatsApp for our communications. But before that, as we did in the email section, we will have some WhatsApp poorly drafted WhatsApp messages and we will go for some professional rewrites first and then we'll come up with the golden rules, right? Okay, my first message says it's done. What is wrong here? See, it's very vague and confusing. I just gave done and question mark. I'm asking to my article and just sending him done question mark. No, there is no context, there is no subject, there is no clarity of what is done. So what is a professional rewrite? I address the person, hi Anu, has the client presentation been completed? Please confirm the status. Okay. The most widely used things on the WhatsApp, the emojis and the phrase bro. Bro, please send the file ASAP yaar. What is this? And what is wrong? It is too casual. It is unprofessional. Even if we are conversing with our peers, we should not be using such languages because WhatsApp, though it is an informal way of communicating, informal mode of communication, but in business communication, it also has some professional impacts. So, again, what is wrong here? It is too casual and unprofessional. There is a use of slang, emojis, unclear file name, as well as the tone is very unprofessional. So, how do we rewrite it? Hi Raj, could you please share the final audit file at your convenience today? I made it very particular and very clear. Though Raj is my bro, even though he's my sibling, but as a business communicator, as a professional business communicator, I will not mention him as bro, Raj, bro, please send me the file. No. I'll address it in a very professional way and say, could you please send me the final audit report file at the convenience today? Only if it is the business communication. I'm not talking about the casual or the personal ones. Here we are totally focused on the business communication. And even if we are communication with our siblings for our business communication, please try and inculcate these habits. Next, why is it not done yet? Question mark, question mark, question mark, and fourth time also question mark. Does keeping this question mark fourth time adds to the value? Is it giving any value to it? No, it is just in making it very long and stretching. So what's wrong here? It is very aggressive or an emotional message. Again, all the cap format is used. It is emotional. It sounds very rude and threatening. Is it done yet? What is happening? I'm being rude. I'm sounding threatening to the person. How do we rephrase it? Hi Nidhi, I'm following up on the pending task. Could you please share an update on the status? Obviously, Nidhi will be very happy to share with me on the status. Otherwise, what will happen to the Nidhi if it is a previous scenario? Why is this not done? Nidhi will think about the excuses. We don't want excuses in business communication. We want explanations. Okay. Next, we have, hi sir, actually I was thinking that maybe if possible we can change the meeting time because some people are not available and also client has some issues. So please see and confirm what to do. So, what is here? Such a big and very unclear message. It is having a long paragraph and it is very hard to read. So, how do we rephrase it? And at the same time, it is just one sentence, no breaks in between. The message is not clear. How do we rephrase it? We put it into bullet points and at the same time, we say, good morning, sir. And due to limited availability on client request, maybe reschedule the meeting. And what is the proposed time? We give it in a different tab line and we say proposed time is 3 p.m. and please advise. Now let's look at some more examples. At 11:45, I am asking my suppose article to send the report. Now, what is wrong? See, it is crossing the boundary actually, even if I am the senior partner of the firm. It is poor timing. So, what I should do is we should acknowledge the after hours meeting or sorry, messagings. But at the same time, if it is very urgent, how do we do? We first acknowledge that we are making it after our messaging. So, how do we do it? Apologies for the late message. This is urgent. Could you please share the report first thing tomorrow morning? The person will be more than happy to share rather than receiving my message at around 11:45 and just saying that please send the report now. Okay. Okay. Right? Okay. And a big thumbs up I have got. And that is what message I have sending. So what is this? This is actually a misuse in the group messaging technique. And it is very unclear group notification and it does not add up any value. Reader, I must be very particular in saying that I have noted and I will proceed as discussed only if the response adds value. Otherwise, avoid replying in the group messaging. A 2-minute long voice note comes. What's wrong here? It is a voice note without any context and it is too long and no summary and it wastes times. Nobody is there spending 2 minutes over WhatsApp listening to your voice note. What you can do is, along with the voice note, just give a brief snippet or two of what you have mentioned, even if it is a very long one. First and foremost thing, avoid making a long voice note. And if it is a longer one, you are explaining everything. So just give a brief about it in a message as well. Like I say, hi, sharing a brief voice note regarding the vendor verification and what is action required. Please confirm approval by the today itself. Okay. So that message, we have broken it up in the messages. And our standard line, please do the needful. Now, what to do, when to do, how to do. So, what's wrong here? It's incomplete instruction and there is no clear task or deadlines or responsibilities. So, how do we fix it? We rewrite it as please review the draft agreements and share your approval by 5 p.m. today itself. I hope we are clear what are the professional rewrites even on the WhatsApp. Okay. So always remember, WhatsApp is fast, but it is not casual in business. Okay. So yes, we will have to use the WhatsApp as, in the business communication, but at the same time, we should always remember to have our stable footing of being professional, not being casual whenever we are conversing over the WhatsApp during business communications. Again, here also we have the clear rule, CLEAR. So first C stands for our messages must be clear and concise. Always remember to make short sentences, give line breakups for readability. Remember our fourth example in which we had a single four-liner with a single sentence? Yes, avoid that. Line breaks must be there for better readability. Highlight the time, date, or any actions which are required. Like say, for example, hi Raj, the meeting review meeting is rescheduled for 11 a.m. today itself. Full stop, and please confirm the availability. Okay, so I have addressed the receiver. I have also given a revised timeline as well as I have asked for the confirmation at the same time. So clear and concise. Next is L, the language and the tone. So what is here? We should always be professional and courteous. Avoid any use of slangs, sarcasm, and excessive use of emojis, right? Like I just said, okay, and it's done. No, I should make it very clear what is the sender's expectation as a receiver when I am sending this, okay? And always use greetings and sign offs whenever they are required. But at the same time, that does not mean we over, like if we send up hi in one sentence and then again I give the purpose and then I give up the good night thing, something like that. No, we should avoid that. We should try to make it as crisp as possible. That is the purpose of WhatsApp. Next is etiquettes and timing. Here the E stands for etiquettes and timing. Always respect the working hours and acknowledgement for the urgent messages politely and for late hours, and avoid any repeated follow-ups if it is at the nth hour of the day. Even if it is very urgent, you can just mention it in a message that I expect this the first thing in the morning tomorrow. Anyways, you're not delivering the messages to your clients at around 12 at night, right? So we have that window and it is for everyone. Next is the action or the confirmation. So always close the loop and seek for confirmation or response. Kindly confirm once received. Don't wait for that text to get blue or the green. So no, that the tick is gray. Still then we just ask for a confirmation like kindly acknowledge. And the last what we have in the clear is again being respectful in a professional tone, be polite, confident, and neutral. Avoid any emotional language and stop using non-standard abbreviations whenever we are communicating in the WhatsApp. I hope WhatsApp communication is clear now. Yes. So let me see clear in the chat if it is clear. Okay. So why are we using WhatsApp? And is it very easy to use WhatsApp in the business communication? No, it isn't. Always remember that WhatsApp is something like a double-sided sword for business communications. It is inevitable at present, but it is giving us a formal impact. So with that, the message must be instant, and it is instant, but it will be permanent. Even if you go for deleting the messages, so though that thing has come up in WhatsApp, but you will always see a message which says the message has been deleted. So you will always leave your digital footprints with it. And there are very high risk of misinterpretations whenever we are deleting that message. It is better not to delete, or you can send a revised message without deleting that, because there are higher risk of misinterpretations in it. And always remember to have a direct effect of professionalism and relationships. Now, what are the key takeaways in this section? WhatsApp is a professional tool at work. As I've already told you, it is inevitable part in the present business scenario. So always be clear, concise, and respectful. And as the messages, even on WhatsApp, is your business messages, it improves and builds your credibility. And whenever you are in any doubts, always shift over call or emails. And at the same time, please always avoid if there is anything which is requiring explanations. So either switch to emails or calls for any clarifications. Never go on sending repeated messages on this happened, then 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 this happened. No, don't give those 10-15 messages at the same time. It is better to make a call or shift to the emails. Now, again, what is the use of WhatsApp and when to use the WhatsApp and when not to use the WhatsApp? So, whenever we are giving any quick updates or reminders, or at the same time we are asking for any meeting confirmations, urgent coordinations are there, and any simple clarifications are there, it is appropriate to use WhatsApp. But at the same time, when is it inappropriate? As I've already discussed, during the detailed explanations, avoid using WhatsApp. For any performance feedback, for any conflict resolution, for any sensitive or confidential matter, avoid using WhatsApp. Always switch over to emails or calls. Now comes the time of our golden rule. So, what is the golden rule of WhatsApp communication? Again, the same ones. Typing in all caps, avoid it. Sending emotional messages, overusing groups, and spreading it like a wildfire, that is to be avoided. And at the same time, sharing unverified information. Please save yourselves from this. So, what is our single liner? Professionalism is not in the platform we use, but it is how we use it. Okay, I'll repeat it. Professionalism is not in the platform we use, but it is how we have utilized it. Okay, and the guys, until a lion shares a story or writes the story, every story shall be glorifying the hunter. Remember, until a lion learns how to write the story, every story shall glorify the hunter. So, we are the lionesses, and let's be now that footing and stop glorifying the hunter and make our communications more professional. And I'll be open for Q&A if there is any. And over to you, Minakshi. Shraddha, anybody from the technical team who will be taking it forward?
Yeah, hi. Yes, Meghvi is also there here. Meghvi
Okay.
and Meenakshi is there. They would be taking it forward.
Okay.
It was a very nice
And
session, actually. I must say that.
Thank you so much, Shraddha. Thank you so much. I hope it was informative.
absolutely informative, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Is there any Q&As? Anybody has any specific queries? I would be open to it. And I look forward to do further sessions as we have few things to be added. And for any business communication related thing, and at the same time, I also work in the capacity of a life coach. So if you have anything which we are there struggling as females on our professional fronts also, as well as the personal fronts, I'm more than happy to help my people here. And with this, I conclude the session. If there is anything, please let me know.
If nobody has any questions, I can move ahead with the formal vote of thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dalnas.
Hi, I'm having question.
Yes, Gitanjali ma'am. Yes, please.
Sometimes in professional scenarios, it happens that you are doing your task, but still the your boss or the superior is having some questions about the performance or anything. So you are already overburdened, but still that person is having that you are not doing it correctly or you are not doing it. uh,
Hmm.
then in such kind of scenario, if we put our perspective, they take it as a defensive messages. They said you are defending yourself. So in such kind of scenario, how you should tackle such kind of situations?
This is a wonderful question, and I really appreciate Gitanjali for putting it forward. See, Gitanjali, whenever such scenarios happened, that is basically conflict resolution in the business environment. So, how do we do it? Is that don't be over explanatory. First thing, like
Mhm.
whatever you want to say, make it very crisp. At the same time, don't show it as that you are over explaining. Make it crisp, concise, and always give it that if there is anything further, we can sit in person and talk. Just that's it, done and dusted. No over explanations, but yes, always give your explanations, and then keep it and like show it as that you have explained yourself, but at the same time you're not making it as excuses. That is how we should deal with it. I hope, Gitanjali, that is clear.
Yeah, but means the experience is that if you try to explain, they're taking it as a defending. You are defending yourself.
True, true,
They're
true.
not
That's
trying
why.
to understand your situation. They're just means it is. We can say it is their managerial skill. They
Yeah,
are
it
putting
is
it
there.
as a defender.
Yes, very true, very true. But at the same time, as an individual, we should always remember that we cannot influence the other person. Whatever traits that person has, it is his. We cannot change that trait. And we are actually nobody to change anybody's trait. The God has given every single person that particular trait. So, what we can do is, to the best of our knowledge, we put our things forward, we put our things without missing anything, but at the same time we always keep it open that yes, if there is anything we can just sit and talk. That's how we do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, thank you. And
Thank you.
one more question.
Yes,
Whatever the
Gitanjali.
we have discussed here, it is
Uh-huh.
particularly with respect to the day-to-day conversation with the
Conversation.
work colleagues and office mates. But
Yes.
how you should deal while you're having the first kind of conversation with your new clients, or what kind of perspective you should adopt to while acquiring the new clients. Uh, that can you explain?
Yes, Gitanjali, in this, my purpose of this session was to make it as simple as possible, cause it was more of building a habit. I centered my session regarding towards the building of a habit. So when we have these habits built in ourselves, like whenever we are communicating as a professional communicator, right? So what do?
Mm.
We have our footing. So when we develop that footing, so be it we are conversing with a client, the first time client, or we are conversing with our peers, or we are conversing with a senior manager. So it when you develop gradually these things in your trade, so that does not give you any difference. With respect to client communication, always I'll just tell you that always learn your client first, even if you're meeting for the first time. So you should have some background for understanding. Like, say, whenever we
Mhm.
start a session, why do we start a session with an introduction? Because
Yeah.
Minakshi, Delzeen, Kushal, Greta, Gitanjali doesn't know who I am. But yes, with my
Mhm.
single liner or a small introduction, you guys came up to know that okay, I am a visiting faculty. I am like I have been connecting seminars. I have been connecting corporate trainings. So why is that coming up? Because that gives you an insight. So whenever you are pitching your client, even for the first time, try to get some knowledge. Nowadays the digital footprints are always available, be it LinkedIn, be it your websites. So try to read it. But at the same time, if that is a very fresh person, or the person is a very spontaneous one, the client is a very spontaneous one, always keep your footing. And in that case, don't close your communications immediately. Keep some room for open, like say yes, okay, we had a wonderful say interaction. So I would like you, if there is any specific questions, we will discuss that in the next meeting, or I am looking forward for a further meeting with you. Or you can also ask if there is anything. So this is my number. So you can drop me with your specific queries and we can schedule a call accordingly. I hope, Gitanjali, that clears.
Yeah. Yes. And
Thank you.
one thing I want to say, the session was very good. You have
Thank you.
taken it very perfectly. So this kind of sessions mostly happens in the corporate, but it is missing for the practicing CA. So it is one of the good session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for acknowledging, and I am blessed to hear that. At the same time, I am always open for like conducting more sessions like these for my visionary women people here. And at the same time, what I believe is what we need to do is we need to just build that acumen. And once we have it in our acumen, once we have built that trade, once we have come to that stable footing, so we can do it in any way. And I always keep it very clear, and this is something which somebody told me once, like how you are perceived. is, if you want to see how a person is in actual sense, then you should always look at that person, not talking to the person who is at the top of the hierarchy of that person. You should always see that person whenever that person is conversing with the person who are below the hierarchy. That will actually show that person's actual character, I would say.
Yeah.
So we just need to build acumen on this, and I'll be sharing my PPT also, so that it helps further for the team. And if there is anything,
There's a comment down here from Mona. She's asking what's the legality of WhatsApp content or messages for a document that is sent on WhatsApp.
okay,
Okay.
okay, I got it. Let me
Mm.
just share my number. So this is my number and this is my email ID. I will be taking up this question. So if there is anything further, which is apart from the session also, you guys can contact me. Yes. Coming to the question, if I have understood it particularly, that is how the WhatsApp messages would be used as the legal evidences if we sum it up, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
That's what
I
she
think so.
means.
Yeah. So in that case, see now for as the evidences, what we have is we give WhatsApp messages as the screenshots, even in the legal, the civil suits and all. So that is like the pledge or the plea, sorry, not the pledge, but the plea what people take is that it is AI generated. But if you have the original device with you and you are attaching the screenshots from that particular conversation, so that is legally admissible. So, but for this, your original device in which whatever you have received the communication, whenever we are giving it as a documentary evidence, always quote your device on which you have received it. And in legal scenarios, if we are giving any evidences over WhatsApp, so we also need to give a declaration under the Evidences Act.
Okay.
And it makes
Thank you.
it as good as a normal evidence, the documentary evidence. I hope this clears the question.
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay, Mona. Any further queries we have, or shall we wind up the session?
I think that's about it. Uh, I'll just quickly give the vote of thanks.
Okay.
Uh, Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Visionary Women, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to our esteemed speaker, Mitika Batta, for conducting such an engaging and insightful session on pro-digital communication techniques for
Thank you so much.
professionals. In today's fast-paced and increasingly digital professional environment, the ability to communicate clearly and confidently online has become an essential skill. Your session highlighted the importance of it, building a credible presence and navigating virtual interactions effectively. The practical tips that you shared on handling virtual meetings, the WhatsApp communications, and the acronyms for clear communications as such, with clarity, will certainly help the professionals here strengthen their impact in the modern workplace and even in our practices. Your insights reminded us that communication today is not only about what we say, but how we present ourselves, and thought and how thoughtfully we engage with our colleagues, clients, and professional networks. I would also like to thank all the participants for joining us today and for their enthusiastic participation. A special note of thanks to our founder, C.A. Christy Morakhia, for continuously creating uh, for creating this platform and continuously engaging us here. Once again, thank you, Mitika ma'am, for sharing your valuable time and expertise with us today. Thank you, everyone. We look forward to many more enriching sessions together.
Thank you so much, and the pleasure was all mine. And I look forward to help you, beautiful souls, further. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mitika ma'am. I will be giving out the number and email ID again to
Sure.
everybody
Sure,
if they
sure. If
want to
there is
reach out.
anything, yes. If there is anything, anybody who has specific queries with regarding to this, I am always open to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Have a
ma'am.
good day.
You too.